Hello, this is Gambia 24 with me, Sohna Tunkara. Let's look at our news bulletin. Gambia government to shut down illegal child care centers after sex abuse reports. The president of the Gambia Transport Union calls on the Gambia and Senegalese government to respect court order and release their vehicles. These and more coming up on Gambia 24. Stay tuned. Welcome back and thanks for joining us. The Gambia government said on Tuesday it will close all unauthorized child care centers or private residential care homes in operation within the Gambia effective this month. Henceforth, any person or organization found operating an unauthorized child care centers or private residential care homes shall face the full force of the law. The Department of Social Welfare said in a statement. The decision follows reports of child abuse and exploitation in local orphanage last week, resulting in the immediate closure of the Penny Appeal Gambia orphanage. The Department of Social Welfare under the Ministry of Women, Children and Social Welfare is responsible for certifying persons and organizations that run charity care homes. Under Gambia's child rights laws, a person found guilty of managing or operating an unauthorized child care center or private residential care home could face a fine of up to $50,000 or get jailed for 2 years or both fine and jail time. Now, moving on, the recent increase in the number of coronavirus cases in the country is said to be due to the continuous overcrowding of people at markets. But vendors at the Seraconda Market have debunked such claims. According to some business owners, they are not responsible for rapid spread of cases and the limiting operating time is affecting their business activities. Detail in this report by our Makalo.
Non-essential business owners at the Seraconda Market said they cannot be blamed for the rapid increase in COVID-19 cases in the country, as they are strictly adhering to the health precautionary measures to avoid helping the spread of the virus. They said limiting their operating time to only 3 hours a day from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. has affected their lives as individuals. Keba Jame, a used clothing seller, said if anyone is to be blamed for the rapid increase in cases, it should be the government because it has been a bit inefficient towards the prevention of the virus.
Paramilitary fonkoli yawlo junumin tol fe marso ko wol fankatal yamal la ne bukalo ka meng bodal bebe freering molbe dum kannal la tro molbe dum kannal sa fele fo slang ko nyinga ketambul kuti me alon ko nala sa tasareta nin ko moma a contrôle no kotenge so ko bina o mudala ye jiobula be bonta banko re ko bina o jio kole ta ko no wala kedan to laman sakundal il faut ngo nyaabe jiola be bonkan ya ja bonta already e ko bina kola ata ko no la so a bilemulo mo si fengo fon tol be ngom tol kam bulo chodi man sakundale ito lekya lesta bar Gambia dingol ya tra because ni te fongo baaje hanne tibil jebe diaspora sol men beji e Gambian ko ye makoy bakel dul beje ka safunu le sangina dole ñunu sayena ye siengul sangnan min yalon ko sembo war ya talantala molte son to la marso ko blawd la yaaja bebe faare wolal mo dole fo be ja man nasari fo ya man doge e kan talli tadi dongol tata ke yamuda te ke yam ya juo so de ke ko man ni bulal ya londi den isi bulo ko wala en nyaaw nyam.
The Seraconda Market is one of the biggest markets in the Gambia with hundreds of people involved in various businesses. But business owners here said they have been hurt by several of government's emergency regulations. Non-essential vendors like Babakar, a cosmetic seller, and Omar Jallo, a used clothing seller, said it would be preferable for taxes levied on them to be reduced by half because they are not earning as expected.
Survive on these things. We survive on second hand. We never have any job from home to market. So the 3 hours don't satisfy us. So that's our main problem. Every day before 3, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, they come. Everybody open, close. So that don't give us the satisfaction. We are the Gambians. We are the youths. We don't want to steal. We don't want to do anything. We don't want to rob. That's why we are doing this second hand cloth, our main business.
I call digante tribi ba 7 mi do fi meuna jaay sax 5000 yu baax tanga yow yaangi wara am conteneur gene ko ci port bi leneen ak leneen taxi bu jot nga fay te ñoom seen bopp ñu ngi teg lii te amul benn taxi boo xam ne wàññi nañ ko doomu aadama yi xam nga loolu tamit dafa métti si business te businessman lépp lu muy dugal si keesu nguur amul kenn ku fi mën a dugal da ngay xool conteneur bu ñëw dana fay 200 wala 300,000 nga war a génne sa conteneur ñu xëy ñu ne doo bi sa place loolu di métti na wax dëgg yàlla neexut si business.
Due to the coronavirus regulations implemented by the government, the Seraconda Market have been segmented into two. Essential food vendors are allowed to operate from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., while non-essential food vendors from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. The Gambia government said the measures are meant to help curtail the spread of the coronavirus in the country. For iAfrica TV News, Awa Makalu.
From that report by Awa Makalu, the president of the Gambia General Transport Union, Omar Cisse, has called on the Gambia government and Senegalese forces in Briam to respect the court order and release vehicles they have in their custody. This call came after a time when the Senegalese forces apprehended some vehicles for carrying illegal luggings. Detail in this report.
Omar Cisse, the president of Gambia General Transport Union, said its members are likely to shut down operation after what he calls the illegal seizure of commercial vehicles by Senegalese soldiers in the town of Biam, Foni Kansala. The Gambia Transport Union chief told a press briefing held at its headquarters in Banjul on Tuesday that Senegalese forces unlawfully apprehended vehicles belonging to its members even after a court order for them to release about 19 vehicles in their custody.
We cannot continue to swallow this. And number two,
the Senegalese soldiers are unlawfully in custody of our Gambian vehicles. What we know in the Gambia is if someone breaks the law, the police will charge the person and arraign the person before a law court. But the Senegalese soldiers are in custody of Gambian vehicles for about 3 to 4 months, and nothing has been done to stop it. Our people have been tried at the Brikama Magistrate Court and they pleaded guilty and they were fined, and the court ordered the Senegalese soldiers to release the vehicles, but they relent.
Umar Cisse said drivers who are arraigned before the Brikama Magistrate Court were found guilty for illegal transportation of timber and a fine was imposed on them. However, Cisse said the court also ordered the Senegalese soldiers to discharge the impounded vehicles under their custody, but they have not complied with the ruling.
We are not working on forestry.
The court has forfeited the logs and handed them to the Ministry of Forestry, but they are still within the Senegalese soldiers. But that is not our problem. Our problem is we want to get our vehicles. They cannot have someone's vehicles for about 3 to 4 months. In fact, the court said the vehicles under the Senegalese forces are 19. But if you go there today, it is less than that.
The transport union boss said its members will cease operation in the area that if the government failed to adhere to the court ruling.
As transport union, we cannot sit here as an organization. We are not going to see that just to protect. You see our drivers have been victimized. Our lives have been threatened. We cannot. Whether government remove the or we stop operation. We can't do that anytime anymore. So before it's getting too late, let's government take action against it.
What do you mean by you stop operation?
No. For example, it's the Tanzania highway. We allow you call our people, let's stop, not to be operate in that area. Unless government do something. Maybe if you do that, some people have challenges. So before we lead to that, let government do something else. But if government does not do it, we have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan C. But anything will happen. As far as our constitutional right is concerned.
Since 2017, Senegalese forces have been actively involved in the crackdown in illegal logging and have seized several trucks of wood coming into the Gambia via Senegalese southern region. Reporting for iAfrica, I'm Ibrahim Kebi Sonko.
Now on to Gambia's COVID-19 update. The country has so far registered 244 new COVID-19 cases on Saturday and Sunday, bringing the total number of cases to 2,116 since the first confirmed case in March. The 121 National Situation Report released by the Ministry of Health on Tuesday indicated that 14 new discharges were effected from the treatment centers, bringing the cumulative number of recoveries to 415. For the first time, no deaths were recorded. The report indicated that 725 new laboratory test results were received from the Medical Research Council of the Gambia and National Public Health Laboratory. For these, 4 tests returned indeterminate, and out of the 270 tests conducted, 30 were repeated. 6 people who were newly taken into quarantine as Senegalese soldiers and a Malaysian national, all of whom entered the country through Amdalai village in the North Bank region. The country currently has 311 people in quarantine, 1,638 active cases, 187 probable cases, and a crude case fatality ratio of 3.0. Despite the government's advice on social distancing to cope the transmission of the coronavirus, as iAfrica TV finds out, it is almost impossible to observe this practice as the ferry terminal and crossing points between Banjul and Bara. Ndaisise files in this report.
Social distancing is almost an impossible precautionary measure in most places in the Gambia, especially in industrial areas. But the situation is worse at the country's busiest crossing point in Banjul, which is used by thousands of people daily. Binta Gassama, a passenger who is crossing from Banjul to Bara, said social distancing is not fully observed in the ferry because of insufficient ferries at the terminal. She said the situation is difficult for them.
Things are sometimes easy and sometimes hard. People are not overcrowded if it is 2 ferries, but 1 ferry is always overcrowded, and this will only increase the spread of the virus, which is not helpful at all.
Although most raise concern over the impossibility of observing social distancing at the Banjul-Bara crossing points, Sek Tijanjai, a fisherman, said he is happy with the way people are handling the emergency regulations.
No, Sante Ala, guy ñu ngi organize.
Thank God, people are strictly following the regulations with full respect, and I am so happy about that.
The National Assembly Special Select Committee on the Implementation of the State of Public Emergency Regulations 2020 predicted that the country will register 181,000 cases of the virus between June and July if people continue to ignore the social distancing measures. Since July, the number of coronavirus cases has increased at an alarming rate, and currently the country registered 2,116 COVID-19 cases and 415 recoveries with 63 deaths since the outbreak of the virus in the country. For African News, Ndaisise.
As the fight against COVID-19 pandemic continues, the United States Embassy in Banjul on Tuesday handed over $765,000 worth of sanitation supplies to the Carnifing Municipal Council to support their efforts to combat the coronavirus. The supplies were purchased using funds donated by the U.S. Department of Defense in partnership with the United States Agency for International Development. These materials are expected to help the municipality respond to the preventive for the spread of the COVID-19 virus. U.S. Ambassador Richard Pascal said the American Embassy is proud to partner with the Council to support efforts in the fight against coronavirus pandemic. Well, viewers, with that brings us to the end of Gambia 24 with me, Sohna Tunkara. Please join Ibrahim Agay for the news in Wolof shortly. Good evening.